going on? It's Justin here.
Jeremy
Welcome
here
to the Boundless PodTrap. So we're still doing things a little bit off cuff here. We do not have our sound guy here. We're still waiting on the soundboard thing. Thing is we had a little bit of technical difficulties, and you're probably still going to be hearing the water here.
The neighbors upstairs that shower apparently
repeat
23 hours of the day.
Yeah, and they only do it for like 5 seconds because that's a waste of water. They do it as a family.
You just get one body part, and let's get the hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up will be the elbow.
But anyway, so our sound guy Logan, he sold the soundboard for Crack Rock. But so he's in rehab, and when he comes back, we can have like all the other stuff.
I'm not agreeing with
And
this at all.
that's a cover-up story. Yeah. The thing is Jeremy got grounded, and his mom wouldn't let him leave the house because he didn't clean his room. So
Still haven't.
Yeah.
Joke's on her. I just threw everything in the closet.
that's actually another cover-up story. The thing is the camera guy Mike, he had to get a penis reduction because, well, how do you make Mike's penis 8 inches?
You stretch it 8 inches.
You fold it in half.
He's giving
Anyway.
the thumbs up. The distance between his thumb and the tip of his finger is not 8 inches.
No,
Or 16 inches, whatever.
close enough.
Is that true though? Don't they say that like if you go like this from like here to the tip is how big? I don't want to like show this in front of the camera because it might, but
How come
mine
it's
is
so small?
bigger.
That's because it's more.
I don't know if that's like from balls to tip or if that's like from the base of the shaft to the.
I think
tip
you
of the
have
head.
to. Well, it depends on what your.
Ladies,
It's the girth.
Mike has left.
Off to a good start. Where you going? Where you going? No, but seriously, Logan can't be here. He's our sound guy. He actually had a little mission thing that he had to do. He's returning from Manhattan because he did like some secret operation, kill Jeffrey Epstein type of thing. I feel like I might be saying too much, but I mean he's really good. Like there's no security footage or anything. The scramble, like the things that this dude can do, he's a freaking genius. But
We'll go with that.
he's he can't be here. He's being debriefed. So once he gets back, we'll try to get things back on track here. But
The elbow is being watched now.
yeah, we'll make it all the way through.
And the elbow is
This
done.
thing's
Next up, the shoulder.
So, what's been going on with you? I heard you made, well, big news here. 4 kids has survived.
Oh yeah. Yeah, about a month ago, for I think it was like 8 days, 8 or 9 days, I was in charge of 4 lives.
The brave man.
Yeah.
He's a brave man.
My 4 nephews, I watched them while my sister and my now brother-in-law went to Jamaica to get married.
Congratulations,
Yes.
Jeremy's sister.
Mr. and Mrs. Martin. But yeah, so they went to Jamaica. One, I don't fly, so I was not going to get in a plane and go to Jamaica. B, it was an expensive ticket. So I agreed to stay back and watch the 4 boys, watch the house, and including that were 2 dogs as well. But yeah, I was kind of afraid. Didn't know how it was going to turn out because...
Especially with the court-ordered... well, never mind. I won't. Never mind.
Little guy
Can't
here.
incriminate.
No,
I don't like to incriminate people. So.
I mean, I don't have any kids of my own. So to go from 35 years, almost 36 years without really taking care of another life to going to 4, watching them for a little over a week was kind of intimidating, but it was fun. They survived. I survived. We had a lot of fun. It's...
You know when people always say, like, well, especially guys, they're like, I don't have any kids of my own that I know of. It's like, wait, why can't girls do that too? Like, I mean, like, there's an obvious reason why, but like, it's just...
I'm sure there has been a woman that's said that before. Ever see that movie Mafia? Oh, we watched that movie together, Mafia.
It's probably my favorite comedy, Mafia.
At the end, when Christina Applegate.
She's like, "What's your name?"
He's like, "Diane." She's like, "That's my name too." And he's like, he's named after his mother. And she's like, "That's my name." So, watching the shoulder now. You should, when you edit this, you should
put in little
body parts. So that was the shoulder. Next will be the earlobe.
You got to get behind the ears.
So yeah, that's what I did. I watched them. They're healthy. They're still alive. There was one scare where I took them to a bounce house place, and my one nephew has autism, and you know you kind of have to watch him a little bit. And he was in this bounce house, and I literally looked away for a second, and I turned around. He's not there. We were searching that place. I was panicking, and the thing was, he was in the same spot, but he found a little flap, and he went under the flap of this thing, and I was just like, man, I was running all over the place. I'm like, as I'm running around, I'm like thinking to myself, like, how am I going to explain this?
Turning kids around
to my sister and my brother-in-law, but no, it was a good time. So
that is, especially as a parent or somebody in charge of somebody else's kids, that's like a scary freaking thing. I'm pretty sure some of you guys who have kids understand that fear. There's a time me and Crystal, we were at like my lovely wife Crystal, which I promised her I wouldn't embarrass her, the woman who makes those funny noises during sex. But she and I were at this Italian festival thing because anyways, gotta do the De Niro.
Yeah, you transform.
But so we went to take like a little selfie or something, you know, and I'm watching Zora, our daughter, you know, playing with like these other little kids here. We turn for a second, you know, turn back, and I'm like, oh crap, you know, she's conversing with some other friends and stuff right after that, and I'm like, we gotta go, like our daughter's not there, you know, and I think at the time she might have been pregnant.
Your daughter was pregnant?
No, I don't think so. my wife.
That story took a weird turn.
So yeah, we scoured, like she made it from right where we are, like maybe 5-10 feet away, like way over to another bounce house that's on the opposite side of the Il Palazzo, the area that they host the Italian festival. But,
don't use your fancy words with me.
That's what it's called. It's the palace, the Il Palazzo. Che cosa che... No,
See. Earlobe.
Oh, earlobe, that's where we're going.
And next will be...
5 seconds. They're going to be going to the... Oh, wow, they do it. They did back it up. They're wasting water now.
One ear to the other ear.
But yeah, so no, that was a scary heart, like pounding type of, you know... Yeah.
I can imagine. Like, if it was I love my nephews dearly, and I love my niece dearly. I mean, as if they were my own, but if it was actually my own, I was about to put the place on lockdown. Like, I was going to just go lock the front doors myself. But, yeah, so, what weird sounds does Crystal make during sex?
That's besides the point.
Oh, you said it. You brought it up.
Why are you trying to embarrass her?
Anyways. So, yeah, what have you been up to?
Besides work, I've kind of been doing a lot of cleaning. The thing is
they're wasting water like crazy.
So I've been cleaning my place. I kind of got hooked on like this whole Marie Kondo, this Kondo Marie type of thing, and I've come to a realization that like if you look it up, I'm not going to put a link. You know what it is by now. It's. I'm not ruining anything. It's pretty much a way to clean your place that sparks joy. So like I took all of my clothes out. I went through a lot of the stuff. I'm trying to get my my wife on it. I'm like, and she's just like, eh. I'm like, your clothes are piling up. I can't. I let her do her stuff, and I'm going to do my own stuff. Anyways, so the place looks really nice, and I just realized that. As a straight guy, I can't really have like a clean house if, at one, you'll probably think of me as like a gay dude or a serial killer. Because you come in and it's like immaculate or something like that. And that's another thing I kind of...
Michael?
Yeah. What's your excuse? We're not in... This is our set. We take over his place and, we'll unchain him and...
This couch is vibrating over here.
Say that. That's because of all that. Oh wait, That's porn. I'll come to that later. But yeah. So we're gonna just say fuck it. We wanted to save this. We're gonna watch the It trailer that we kind of teased a little bit. You guys have probably already seen it. I've staved off not seeing it.
I definitely haven't seen it.
He probably has too because he doesn't really care for the whole thing. I liked the first one. He has not seen it.
I will not. I refuse to. I refuse to see the new remake of It for a number of reasons.
Most of you are going to say it's not valid reasons. I probably agree. It's an awesome movie.
I don't get it.
Like, okay, when I saw It, the beginning, or the first one, as an adult, I just thought it was comical. I'm like, these kids are better actors than these adults. No offense to the adult actors and stuff. Well, actually, that's a big offense, but whatever. Continue.
So, one reason, this isn't the main reason, is whenever people hype up a movie so much, like, oh my god, it's so good, it's so good, it's so good, and I see it, I'm like, nah, it's not. And that's not to be difficult, it's just because it's not good. It's mediocre, it's average. But all these people talk it up. Main reason is, I don't like remakes being made. I think it's lazy, especially in the horror genre. Like, I also refuse to see the new Child's Play Chucky movie. I don't think that needs to be remade, and I didn't really care for the first Child's Play movies anyways. I don't think the new Chucky doll looks really good at all. It looks like it's all CGI. But it should not have been remade. The first one was good enough. Tim Curry, to me, is Pennywise. This new Pennywise looks ridiculous, and not in a good way. It's a lot of CGI to it, and you know me, I don't like CGI, especially in horror movies. There's a time and a place for it, but I like the old school way of practical things. In this day and age, they could do a lot of things that look real. I mean, back in the 80s, it looked hokey, but that's what we loved about it, or that's what I loved about it.
I do like a lot of that older stuff, especially like the behind the scenes and stuff. Like you were kind of talking up one of the was it the Freddy movie or Freddy movies, The Nightmare on Elm Street. Was it like a 4-hour
There's
documentary?
Like a documentary that goes every Nightmare on Elm Street from the first one to the last one, and it does like a mini behind the scenes documentary in each one, and they tell you stories about things that happened, how they did things.
Now that type of production, that's freaking awesome. And like, it's cool to have talent on it, like a digital talent, you know, be able to take some sort of media, wrap it around, you know, make it something totally different than what it actually is. But I'm open for anything, but...
Well, I mean, and that's just it. Like, there are certain characters that should not be remade and redone. Pennywise is one of them. Tim Curry did a great job with it. And just like Robert Englund playing Freddy Krueger, I saw the remake of that Nightmare on Elm Street, and it's like they totally destroyed Freddy Krueger.
Does it matter how it's remade? Because, I mean, you're a huge Rob Zombie fan. Did you like the new Halloween?
I did, but that's the thing is, Michael Myers doesn't talk. Michael Myers is a guy in coveralls and a mask. So anybody could play that character. Now, if Michael Myers talked, then that would be a different story. Same with Jason Voorhees. He doesn't talk. He's a character that's got a mask on and does his thing. You know, when you give characters like Freddy Krueger and Pennywise, they have a personality and they talk. The original ones are what did it for me. And like I said, I saw the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, and that's when I first started thinking to myself, okay, these remakes are getting out of hand and they don't need to be redone. And I mean, it's the same thing with Chucky and Child's Play. You know, it's like a new voice and stuff like that. And I know there's a lot of people. It's who is it that's doing the voice? The guy that does Star Wars. What's his name? Luke Skywalker guy. Michael, you know it.
Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
He does the voice for it. Whatever. But I saw the trailer to the first It, and that was enough to know I did not want to see it.
And you're like,
and I mean, I cannot believe the amount of people that are so for me seeing like, you gotta see it, Like, you know, my life ain't gonna be any better.
It's like
it's probably just
starting a religion. Like you need to come to this site.
But yeah, so I will not see it too. The fact that there's a second one being remade annoys me. And this is another thing, like, people don't understand too. Like, these movies do affect me. And because I am the manager of a Halloween department, and at Halloween time, especially 2 years ago or whatever it was when it came out, everybody came in for Pennywise. Everybody came in for Pennywise. And I mean, it's
like going to a Comic-Con and all you see is Deadpool. Like, I'm a huge Deadpool fan.
It is, and it's just like people think that they're original with it, and it's like I'm not mean about it, but I'm like, I tell people, I'm just letting you know, if you're trying to be original here, you're not. Everybody's doing Pennywise, and that's what I'm gonna have to hear probably again this year. Is you got Pennywise stuff, you have Pennywise stuff, and it's just like, I do, but come up with something different. So yeah, you decided, or Logan decided, that it'd be cool to actually have me watch for the first time the It 2 trailer, which is a 5.5 minute trailer, which right there, that kind of annoys me too. But
the original's two full movies. So.
Yeah, but
remember having to take the second tape out and rewind it. Some of you kids probably don't know what rewind is, but
well, the funny thing is, like, when I got the original It on DVD a while back. It had been a while before I saw it, and I didn't know it was one of those DVDs that you could flip over. Like, I didn't know that was such a thing, and so I put it in, and I had the second side up, unbeknownst to me. And I started watching, and it just like started in such a weird place. I'm like, man, I don't remember this movie starting in such a strange.
I feel like this already
place.
happened. I think part 2 is on the second.
So yeah, I think what you're going to do here is you're going to kind of have like the trailer playing in the corner as we're watching it to get my reaction. I'm probably not going to be too kind to it. I'm going into this trying to give it a chance, but
we'll probably pause it here and there. We'll probably reframe. Well, here we go.
Yes, can I help you?
I used to live here.
Won't you come in? It's the least I can do. Is it like you remember?
Cleaner.
Well, you feel free to look around while I get the water boiling.
Your hair is winter fire. January embers. My heart burns there.
There you go.
Thank you.
Now some music. I do apologize. It gets so very hot here this time of year.
It's fine.
Well, you feel like you could just about die. But you know what they say about Derry? No one who dies here ever really dies. But tell me, how is it being back in Derry?
It's good. Strange.
Strange? Oh, my. I had some cookies in the oven before you came. Stay right there.
I shouldn't impose. I'm gonna...
No, I insist.
Your photos are lovely, Miss Kirsch. Are these your family?
My father came to this country with $14 in his pocket.
What did he do, Mrs. Kirsch?
My father joined the circus. I was always Daddy's little girl. What about you? Are you still his little girl, Beverly? Are you?
This meeting of the Losers Club has officially begun.
We can do this, but we have to stick together. Hello.
That was freaking awesome! No?
Not gonna see it.
So, wait, when I saw the first one, everybody knows, you know, the part with the, you know, little paper boat going down into, you know, the first showing, I guess, of Pennywise. Man, seeing it in the original, like, yeah, it was sad, but seeing it in the new one, like, man, it really pulled at your heartstrings. Like, the acting is much better quality, for sure. The adults, the actors that they use here, you know, Professor Xavier, what is his name? Yeah, that guy, this guy. I'm gonna put a little name up here. Stop, bring it back. But yeah, no, it's I don't know if I would say I'm excited to see it. I am very curious on what's, you know, I'm definitely gonna go see it. But
It's gonna be $10. I'll be saving. No, I mean, if you're gonna, quality production looks great. Again, it's the whole. It shouldn't have been redone. Pennywise ruins that whole movie for me. The look of him, the sound of him, awful. I mean, it's. I don't know. If you're gonna put that effort into a movie, you should have just made a movie that was similar to it, but not call it it. Again, they're trying to bank off of something that was popular, and that's what I don't like to say. As a filmmaker myself, I try to come up with original ideas, and I think that this day and age, there's too many people out there that are given all this money and budget to make movies of something that has been done already, and they get to put a little bit of their own twist on it and stuff like that, and I don't like it. Come up with something else, something original. And
I do agree to an extent. I mean, like, as an artist myself, like, every time I try to sit down to create or draw or, you know, write or something like that, it's like, I do want to make something that's original, something that's more profound or something I've never done before, trying to different avenues. But, like, when it comes to certain things, yeah, people use something that works. But I don't see this as, like, I don't know. I'm okay with the remake. There's certain things, like my favorite movie, The Crow, Brandon Lee, The Crow, you know, like, that was an awesome movie. It was a perfect movie for me. Like, it had everything that, I don't know, it was I can't really explain it. I don't know. But they pulled this one, you know, they put it back on, they've been putting it on the back burner for, like, so long. Recently, they're trying to get Jason Momoa to play the character as Eric Draven. They've had 4 Crows. They've had the one, you know, Brandon Lee, the original. They had, you know, the City of Angels with, wow, what's his name? Vincent Perez. The 3rd one with Mabius, and the 4th one with Furlong. But and then they also did the TV show, which was a reprise of the Eric Draven role with Mark Dacascos. But I don't know, like, I liked what they did with the TV show. And I'm a big fan of Mark Dacascos. I think that's why I liked the TV show, The Stairway to Heaven. But they're trying to remake Brandon Lee's or Eric Draven's story, which I don't think they need to, but I would still go see it just because, well, they're going to try to make it something different. I know that the movie itself didn't follow exactly what the comic book was. It was supposed to be a little bit darker, but I loved everything about Brandon Lee's portrayal. But I think there's so many other Crow stories that they could do, or they could have, you know, like, I find, like, well, when I watched the movie with Catwoman with Halle Berry, I'm looking at that, I'm like, that's the fucking Crow. Like, that's kind of a ripoff. So, to an extent, to say that they should do something similar to it, I mean, people are going to obviously compare it. I mean, I like the visual effects, the CGI on Halle Berry's Crow, Catwoman, was kind of laughable. But, I don't know. I think I could go further with that, but
I was waiting for
brain
it.
fart.
I don't know. I mean, just like I've said, I'm not a fan of the remakes. There's only a few that I actually like. But yeah, this is not going to be a movie that I'll ever see. I was at one point, and it was actually Michael that almost got me to see it, because I'm not a Star Wars fan. by any means. I've always hated the Star Wars
There's
movies.
all the hate in the comments here.
I know. Well, give me a second here. He did not force me to watch them, but the original three, the first original three, so episodes 4, 5, and 6
with Picard and
yeah. No, I'm not.
Actually,
I'm not a Trekkie. I'm not a Trekkie. I know that. I'm just not a fan of space things. But we watched the original three, and I mean, they weren't as bad as I remember, but it's still not, something I wouldn't probably go out and buy the movies to have.
Right.
They're okay, but I was just
we're
like,
gonna watch the other three.
yeah, we'll watch the other three. But yeah, I was just like, you know what, I am gonna give it a shot, but it's just like I just can't do it. I mean, something about it, I can't, and I won't, and people are still going to be mad at me for it for whatever reason, which is weird. I mean, Logan is one that's very okay. Logan's one that really wants me to watch it too, and he's been on me. He thinks I'm missing out, but I don't think I am. But I think we can move on to the next subject because you're just gonna get the same thing from me that I ain't seeing it. I ain't seeing it.
I think it depends too. Like, I'm with you with the Star Wars thing. I wasn't a big Star Wars fan, and I come from a background with I grew up on Hong Kong movies, like ninjas and samurai, and people are like, well, you would like it. It's just pretty much samurai in space. I'm like, I can see the connection, but it just doesn't. I think because I was kind of forced to watch, especially Star Trek, a little bit of Star Wars in here.
How were you forced?
My dad was a huge fan, and he had a whole collection of stuff.
Did he hurt you?
Yeah, he touched you. Yeah, I'll show you.
Go that far.
Show me on the Klingon where he touched you.
Show me.
Show me on me where he touched you. Yeah, so we used to go to the conventions, which I thought was nerdy. It was, obviously, but I mean, to each their own. I actually did kind of like a little bit of it, but yeah.
So, speaking of nerdy,
Why are you pointing at me?
I don't even know if this is a good segue. So, people kind of associate. I'm not saying I do it, but sometimes people associate comic book people as nerds, geeks, or whatever.
Yeah, nerd's a good term.
We kind of, before this, were talking about something kind of unique. Don't know if we're going to do it or not. But for those of you that don't know, Michael and I, was it back in 2011?
Mm-hmm.
2011
to 2014.
to 2014. So for
an item.
almost 4 years, we ran a little group. You probably can't see it because this has got so much sweat and fade on it, but we ran a modeling group called the Glam War Girls. Basically what it was combining two things that you wouldn't normally, glamour and beauty, with blood and gore.
Which one?
And I want to say this, that I kind of feel like I had a hand in kind of getting gory shoots kind of a thing in this area, because before I met Michael, I shot with a photographer. Her name was Ashley Babri, and just her and I meshed so well together with her dark photography, and me being into Halloween and the blood and gore and all that stuff and makeup, and we did some shoots together, and it's like she moved away out of my life. Haven't heard from her in probably 10 years now, but we did blood shoots, and after she left, I was like, man, I really want to do something different and unique. I don't want to just, as much as I like seeing beautiful women posing on motorcycles and on the beach and stuff like that, I was like, I wanted to add something different and unique to that, and that was the blood and gore aspect. And so I shot with a few photographers after her and did some blood shoots and stuff like that. And this one girl that was a mutual friend of myself and Michael, she's like, hey, I have a photographer that you should shoot with. And I looked at his work and I was blown away by it. And so she set up a shoot, and Michael and I didn't say maybe a couple words to each other that whole shoot. He took the pictures, I did the makeup with one of my buddies, a couple of my buddies. We made some awesome stuff, and I had just been on him, Michael, not literally on him. I know that's where you were going to go, but I had this idea for a group, and so it actually was sparked from a group that I found on Facebook called the Unchained Girls, and yeah, I won't say, but I thought, man, with Michael's talents behind the camera, editing and taking the pictures, and my ideas for the blood and gore and connections I have, we could do something cool. Like this Unchained Girls group, I'm not saying they were terrible, but I mean, it was amateur quality. And I'm like, man, if they have all these fans and can do this stuff, like, we could easily get this going. So we met up. It was supposed to be like an hour meeting, and it ended up being like a 4-hour meeting. We came up with the name, the concept, all this stuff, and long story short, we had a pretty awesome, almost 4 years running that group. We traveled around to different like horror conventions and different events and stuff like that. And
it was widely known in this area. I know a few people who I didn't know that knew of it, and then like one of my friends, Ashley, remember she got on board or something like that. I'm like, holy crap, like, yeah, like, it's help create something. And
to this day, people still, like, I just was talking to this one girl, and she's just like, so I see you did some stuff with Michael and this Glam Gore Girls. And I was like, well, yeah, I was the second owner of it and stuff. And I mean, we're still, we get multiple likes every week on the Facebook page. And
isn't there a comic book store that has your guys' banner?
Ground Zero Comics. When they moved, I don't know if they put them back up at their old shop they had, because we did a signing there years ago. But yeah, I mean, to this day, people still talk about it. There's still girls that are just like, oh yeah, I really wanted to be a part of that. And I think it really opened up the area with more people doing like these blood shoots and stuff now. I miss those days. A lot of people always ask why it is that we stopped doing the group. I mean, there's a number of reasons. I think we were getting backed up on so much content that we weren't getting out there. And it was just becoming too much. It's like we're doing all these shoots. Like there was times where we were doing shoots like almost 5 days a week, because back when we had a studio, and I mean we shot with well over 100 models, and each of them were supposed to have a character. Some that were really into the group were known as our serial killers, and they were the ones we'd take to events and we'd work with, and we created characters.
There was one-off characters.
Yeah, there was ones that were first-time offenders, which would just be people that we shot with once, and then I forget what the mid group was, but they were ones that we would shoot with every so often and whatnot. And but yeah, it was just there's so much content being taken in, but we weren't putting enough out. And we wanted to do live comic books, like real life pictures, but with the comic book form, with the different cells and word bubbles. And we also were doing an actual illustrated comic book too. There's just so much, and not talking bad on anybody in particular, but just, I mean, you had those certain girls that were always doing the stuff, and that's great. But it was like, we're known as the Glam Gore Girls, not the
Glam Gore Girl Part 2.
Yeah. And there's just girls that I would set up like the locations. I would write down the concepts. I'd set up if there was hair or makeup and stuff like
this
that.
Guy. I think in the whole acting or entertainment type of thing, this guy is like well organized. I have never walked on a set of his and like didn't know what I was going to do. It's like everything's all lined out and stuff, and if we had time, we'll do something. Otherwise, we have like backups and stuff. But
well, I mean, with me and Michael, like this guy is. You think I'm organized? He's super organized.
Look at this serial killer pad.
But it was like I would set these shoots up, and I'd talk to girls, and I'm like, okay, we're going to be doing this like 3 weeks from now, or even 4 weeks from now. Take the time off of work. and make sure you have that whole day clear because this could be like a 6-hour shoot and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, okay. And it's like, you remind them as they go. And then it would be like the day of or the day before, and they cancel. It's like, well, the whole shoot's destroyed now. And
so you got to get Mike out there to shoot him.
Well, yeah. But it's like, that's not, it's messed up because you have these hairstylists and makeup artists there. And now it's like, they were canceling possible people to, like, because most of them worked at a salon. It's like they would block out that day and those like pretty much the whole day for us, and then it's just like, oh, by the way, they canceled, so we're going to be able to do the shoot. And it's like, okay, well, now they missed out on all the stuff. So it was like, we preached commitment to people, and that's one thing I always tell people with like any project of mine is that if you agree to do this, a lot's going to be expected of you. Because I put like 100% into everything that I do, and I give up a lot of stuff. And that's why I say if you don't think you can do that commitment, give that commitment, tell me. I'm not going to be mad. But everybody says, "Oh, no problem," and then then they don't, and it's a problem. It is a problem, and so that was kind of like one of the main reasons why we stopped doing it. Now, as to what I was saying before we started doing this,
you're right. That is pretty nerdy.
Yeah, the three of us were talking. I've always wanted to bring it back, like not full force like we were doing. I mean, because that was basically like a full-time job for us, and it's just especially when you don't have a studio anymore, and plus we wanted to do more on-location things because it's.
Looks better.
It's better than being on a white or black backdrop.
Right. From having like a lot of the certain like haunted houses and stuff that you guys shot at, or using even the characters from the haunted houses, it just made the quality, like the colors were like popping and stuff like that.
And this guy, like, he's so good with especially natural lighting, but then when you add in like the colors and stuff like that, like that's why I can describe it as it's like Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses movie, like one of my favorite movies. It's so bright and colorful.
That movie sucks.
Get out of my house. But no, so we were talking about Michael has a Patreon page, which we could probably throw that up there, that link. But we were talking about, because we were just looking at all the old stuff that has never seen the light of day from Glamour Girls, and we're like, God, like there's even things that we were just like, I don't remember doing this.
I did none of that.
So we want to start putting that stuff out there. But we had talked about once that gets out there and going, restarting up the group and having Colton Gray was the character that it was mainly about, and it was like, it was me for those that don't know, which is surprising because it's like I look at Colton Gray, I'm like, obviously that's me behind the mask, but there's a lot of people that didn't know that, and but it was basically the whole plot of this thing was Colton Gray was this killer that he's just known, all he's known is like hate, and he was in this institution and he was surrounded by guys that all they did was kill and
just absorbed a lot of their darkness.
They always talked about women and like raping women, killing women and stuff. So all he had in his mind was like hate and women, and so these were all these characters were all in his head. Like the whole group was in Colton's head, and it was supposed to be empowering to women because normally women are the victims, but actually the women were the killers, the heroes, I guess, or whatever. But anyways, we had talked about doing that and bringing it back, and I know I had talked to you about designing a new look for Colton, and we've talked about having him play Colton Gray if we start this back up, because he has obviously a better physique than I do. I mean, I feel like a freaking coat rack. Yeah, I'm getting a belly too. But having you play Colton, I was also the character Chops, which was like the ringleader, which means I'd have to bring the Chops back and bring out the whole old Chops costume. But bringing it back and getting some new models to work with, and maybe bring back some of the old models too. But just have a little bit of fun with it. Do a lot more videos since I'm more experienced in that area now too and whatnot. And thank you. But yeah, so that was something we had kind of tossed around, which isn't a permanent thing. But for those 2 viewers that are watching, let's what are your thoughts if you played with Glenwood Girls? Would it be something you'd like to see come back someday?
I think it'd be awesome. The vision that I have in my head would be it's paramount. It's paramount. I'm not gonna tell you. You guys just have to wait and see. Check out Mike's Patreon.
Yeah, absolutely.
He'll be releasing some stuff soon. He saved some stuff to bring back some inspiration on editing some stuff.
I actually do have an area on the Patreon for the Glamour Girls.
You can't hear him.
I have been.
Gotcha. He's on top of it, or underneath. I don't know what he's behind it. Speaking of gory type stuff, we went over to his work where they're going to be setting up Shadow's Edge here soon. And
we are setting it up.
They are bringing back the location. This is the first year back, right?
No.
Second year back. Third year back. Correct me. I haven't been paying attention, obviously. I have kids.
No, this is we've been back for a couple of years now.
Gotcha.
Years.
This isn't embarrassing at all.
No. There's a lot of people that don't know that, but yeah, Shadow's Edge, which is located in Mangelson's parking lot. I help out there. I'm kind of like a manager there and security. But yeah, this year is actually going to be a very fun year because it's 100% brand new layout.
Check this out. So I'm at like the early stages of building the Shadow's Edge thing here at here's Jeremy. So you just brought to mind that about 10 years ago, was it, that we actually filmed our first feature-length movie together.
Shadow's Edge. That was a long time ago. 10 years ago, 2009, we filmed that. We spent a lot of time in the same area.
About where we're standing. Sorry if you can't hear me because of the wind, but this is about where I died, somewhere around here.
So he's actually over there.
Yeah.
The guy gets
such a nice guy over there.
Yeah.
We're doing a little. Well, I guess we're not doing it, but Sir Mike, doing a little photo shoot over here. Yeah, he's getting on the bed and yeah. More later. Boom.
Whoa.
Okay.
That's crazy.
That was our time setting up the. Well, some people were setting up. I wasn't doing anything. I was there for emotional support.
Well, yeah. But it's we were actually there doing a photo shoot for the poster. Which, Michael, is this your fourth poster you've done for Shadow's Edge?
Can I show this?
Yeah. Well, when it's
released.
released.
It's not ready.
It's not released
yet,
yet.
but
No.
it's very cool. And again, it shows what he can do with lighting and stuff like that. Like when you see the poster, just keep in mind that was shot in broad daylight, and it's just the sun is coming in, but yeah, it looks like it's in a dark room. But yeah, so Shadow's Edge is going to be 100% brand new layout. It's going to be almost 100% brand new rooms and stuff. I think it's actually even going to be some extensions onto it to make it a little bit longer than normal. So it's going to be a very exciting year for Shadow's Edge. It's going to be a lot scarier, a lot more in your face. I
don't think I've been in there except for 1 year after we filmed Shadow's Edge.
Yeah,
I'm just like, I'm sorry guys.
Video.
Sorry guys. But yeah.
10 years ago, from in that video we were talking about that's how long it's been since we filmed Shadow's Edge. But I'm going to try to see if I can set up some night having us do a on location podcast out there. One of the
BPT on location.
And we probably could do a walkthrough, like have you go through with a camera following you. Obviously, we won't be able to show the whole thing because that'll give away.
You guys need to be scared. Get your money's worth.
But yeah, and
no spoilers.
It's crazy to think that it's. I mean, for me, it's been Halloween season for a couple months now, but we're actually getting into where the customers are starting to get into the Halloween spirit. So it's Yeah.
Speaking of movies, one of our next podcasts is actually going to be, maybe not the next one, but the next one after, who knows. We're still trying to get Logan back from his Manhattan little secret op type thing. So we have the 9th, the 16th, and the 23rd as possible options. Those who are attached to unemployed, the main actors, if you guys want to join us and do a screening, a live screening, let us know what your most available dates are of the 9th, the 16th, and the 23rd. Sorry. Yes, that's September. Next month. Those are all Mondays. Those are our best days. So.
Yeah, and basically we want to just have me, you, Eric, John, Joe, Logan sit down and kind of, I guess, have like a picture-in-picture type thing where we'll watch the movie, but our commentary is going to be kind of...
We're going to Mystery Science Theater 3000 this whole...
Yeah, relive it.
Although it's not hard to enjoy it without it.
I mean, it's
for those of you who have not seen it, I would suggest watching it before the commentary.
Yeah.
You'll get a...
Hit me up if you want to buy a copy, $10.
That's a steal.
But yeah, it's been almost a year since I've seen it.
It's been over a year.
October 13th would be...
Really?
October 13th or 14th was the last time I saw it. You would have seen it last September 12th.
Gotcha.
The last time. But you have a copy of it. You just haven't watched it because you're waiting for this, because we all want to kind of relive those memories together.
Magic moment. Can we do that again? I forgot you didn't react.
We're live, pal. So yeah, what else you want to talk about? I think we're about...
I think we can wrap it up here.
Close.
Do not go to Mangelson's and order an It costume. A Pennywise
I didn't
costume.
say that.
That's what he's saying. He's
I'm just
gonna
saying
say fuck off.
It's just getting annoying when you have every day like the same 100 times people asking for the same thing, and yeah, I mean it's a very stressful job. I love it to death.
This fucking guy right here.
As years go on, it's so hard to keep up with what's popular because you don't have just movies anymore that you have to just keep up with. You have TV shows, you have Netflix shows, you have video games, you have all these kids' cartoons, you have comic book. There's just so many things. Like, there's people that come in and they're just like, "Do you have such and such?" I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" And I mean, there's like JoJo Siwa, I think is her name. She's like this Disney star. She's apparently the next Hannah Montana, and she's super popular. She's from Omaha, and she wears like big bows and stuff like that. But she's like, I don't know, she's like 10, 11, 12 years old, but never heard of her. And I mean, I'm already getting people asking for her, so I think she's going to be a big costume this year. So maybe we can do maybe that's for a future podcast. We can do a little bit more research on her and maybe
check into it.
Maybe dress you up like her for Halloween this year.
We will do eventually, we're going to do a cross-dress podcast. That'll be everybody in front of the camera and behind the camera.
Yeah.
So,
and speaking of wrestling, I just saw it right there.
Do you want to cut something on there, or do you want to save it for the next time?
I mean,
2 minutes. Go. 2 minutes.
Well, you got to set me up with something here.
What?
You wrote it.
Wrestling. I don't know what I wrote. Dude, I can't read my writing. Oh, that's one thing I want. I wanted to play a video of a local, guy who was at the local show. This was, go ahead, wrestling. He just had a, Logan and him just had an awesome turnout with the,
Now this is wrestling.
I missed it. I had to babysit it's not babysitting if it's your own kid. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yep. Well, I know where we stand.
It's not
with your importance. I mean, obviously,
I was like, I have to be one of those.
Was there taking
responsible parents?
Yeah. No. Not this last Saturday, but the previous Saturday, we had our Now This Is Wrestling show, Phase 2 at the Beardmore Event Center in Bellevue. Something we've been working hard on for half a year now. and it finally happened. And I mean, I couldn't be happier. I know Logan couldn't be happier with how the turnout of it. The fans were amazing that came. The show itself was incredible. Every match, top notch. It's over a week later, and I'm still having people message me with how they thought the show was so amazing and was one of the best wrestling shows they've ever been to. So yeah, that makes us very happy that everybody's hard work actually paid off. We set the bar high, and we don't want to go below what we did. But yeah, the roof was blown off the place. Like I'm at a loss for words. Like, you know, I can't tell you the amount of times I cried that Saturday night or teared up because just yeah. I mean, there's just so many things that happened that night, and just the fact that everybody was there to help this vision that, you know, I started 4 years ago, and the positive words people say. I mean, there's the deaf community in this area. They sold out the whole ADA section that we had. We had an ASL signer there, and one of the guy that's like the biggest fan, he before the show came up to me, wrote down a piece of paper that he wanted to talk at intermission and wanted Logan, Chrissy, myself, and Jaden Drago, who's his favorite wrestler, come out, and he signed, and one of the signers was interpreting what he said on the microphone, and I mean, whew, I wanted to bawl my eyes out, but I was in front of so many people that I held back the tears. But it's incredible. October 5th is our next show at Sokol Auditorium. We're working hard on that. You know, we work so hard on this show, and it's like we gotta keep it up. The next show, even though it's not one of our pay-per-view style shows, it's still going to be an incredible show. We have a lot planned for it, and
like he said last time, like even if you're not a wrestling fan, like it's still pretty cool. Like I only attended, with this I've only attended one event. There was like one I attended a few years back with my buddy Jordan in the the Army little area in Iowa.
The Armory?
Armory.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're pretty awesome shows. You meet a lot of cool people. And they're like die hard. Like you go to places like the circus and stuff like that. I mean, people are like, "Oh, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake." It's like, it's. You watch The Matrix. That's fake, but it's cool. It's entertaining. Like that's what you're there. They're physical performances.
It's no different than your favorite movie. You know, it's not real. It's scripted,
right? But they're doing it for you. Support your artists.
Exactly. And we had so many people that came to that show. It was their first time at a wrestling show, and they came up to me afterwards, and I was like, I will definitely be back because that was incredible.
October 5th. I won't be there. I'm busy. But,
Probably are. This guy. You need to be there so you can talk about it and know your stuff. I mean, I'm assuming your wrestling match penis hold that note there has to do with Joey Ryan, the guy that we had brought in.
Because Logan's in rehab, we wanted to play like a little clip of a local wrestler, or not? Is he local? He's not really a local. He's local.
Joey Ryan is not local.
He comes local here sometimes. But like there's pretty amazing. I don't know how he does it, but he's dominated people with this particular move that he touched on last time. Did you touch it? Did you touch on it?
I didn't, but this is the thing is, you know, there's a lot of new people that were at that show. And
do you want to show a video? Can we show a video?
That'll have to be one that we talked to Logan about, so maybe so. But my 4 nephews were in the crowd, and this was their first wrestling show.
They were.
And within the first minute of the match, I should say within the first like 20 seconds of the match, Joey Ryan looks at his opponent, and he's just like, "Touch my dick!" And all I could think of was my nephews out there.
You don't have
just
enough
like,
ear or hands to cover ears.
I mean, the whole match was based upon around his dick. I mean, that's his gimmick. I mean, probably people said that was the most entertaining match, like not like in way of athleticism, but just entertainment wise, and it was a hilarious
the penis
match.
Is a beautiful thing.
It is, and he has I think he pulled out 2 or 3 lollipops from his tights. I don't know where they came from, but very interesting. Unfortunately, if you weren't there at that event, Phase 2, you don't get to see it for free. It's going to be on independentwrestling.tv, where you can see all of our TV tapings on there for free. But for a price, I don't know what it is yet. We haven't got it up there and set, but you can purchase to watch Phase 2, which I guarantee you will be well worth the money. Top to bottom, I said, amazing match. The main event, people cannot stop talking about. Very athletic match. But yeah, thank you to those that came out and supported it. Michael, again, thank you. He took amazing roster photo pictures that are on par with WWE.
You can see that on the Now page.
Yeah, you can see them on the Now page. We might be able to pop some of them up here too as we're talking.
We're not going to. What the fuck are we? Never mind.
What was that?
Well,
crazy.
On that was loud. All right, we're gonna close this out. Thank you guys for watching. Justin out.
Jeremy in.
We're not gonna do that. Thank you, Mike, for behind the camera here. And
he's sleeping. Mike, wake up.
Angle the hot dog. All right, you guys have a good one.